last 2 weeks ago, I was home. We did a surprise 65th birthday party for my mother, which was my father ruined the surprise because he's simple. He's a moron, but that's okay. But he's a man. But it was interesting because I'm watching the people in my family. The women in my family are very loud Jewish women, which is redundant. But I'm watching how they're behaving at this party, and I was thinking, these are my role models. They're opening up the gifts. My mother's opening up the gifts, and the women, my relatives, they're like screaming, they're shouting, they're yelling, they're opening up the gifts. They're like, ah! Give her the receipt, she can return it. You know, they're animals. My Aunt Sylvia sits in the back judging every item. She's the critic's choice back there. Is that something she needs? Oh, look at that necklace. Beautiful, stunning. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I hate her.
I decided that I would not be a mother until I learned how to be a daughter. Oh, and right. That's a lifetime's work, so it might never happen.
But you gotta love your mother, don't you? No.
Well, she's given me so much material.
Yes, she has. She's wonderful. Do you look anything like your mother?
No, I look nothing like her. I've always been thin. My mother's like big Eastern European peasanty looking. You know, that looked like if she lifted up her skirt, there'd be a huge brisket underneath there. It's that whole effect, you know.
What's she like? Does she drive you insane?
Yeah. She's, you know, she lives for coincidence. It's her whole reason for being. To like find small world stories to bore me with. You know, like if she was here right now, she would say, "Your name is Mo, and your grandpa Izzy had a brother named Mo." Oh my God! Oh, is that funny? They all make that sound. The women in my family, yeah, they're loud Jewish women. Yeah. Which is redundant. But she's just the small world stories wherever she may go. Yeah. You know, like she'll call me up with these stories like, I ran into a guy who lived on the same block that I lived on for 2 weeks in 1936. We laughed!
Does your mother always, you know, tell you what's on her mind and, you know what I mean?
The interesting things about her are what's not said. Yeah. You know, she's the master of the nuance and the gesture. You know, it's something like if she says, if I say, how are you? Fine. What's the matter? Nothing. She does that, you know that thing, like she'll be having a fight with my father and she'll just sit there like, oh, I got scared for a minute. She was in my body. I thought, like,
that's really scary, isn't it?
Does that happen to you ever, where you feel her in your body? It's just,
I hear her voice coming out of my mouth.
Yeah, that happens to me.
And I say those stupid. My mother has to explain every move she makes to anybody that's there. We went to Disneyland once, and we're getting the car filled with gas. Could you fill up the car with gas? See, I'm taking my daughters to Disneyland. We haven't been there since 1964, and I just thought it'd be a real good idea to get them back to Disney.
Yeah.
It's like, you don't have to, you know.
And I once went to Disneyland. Oh, my God. Is that a small world?
That's another small world story.
Yeah.
Now, what does she act like when you bring guys home and stuff like that?
Well, you know, it's interesting because they're all the women in my family. When you bring a boyfriend home, their behavior changes. Mm-hmm. They get well behaved all of a sudden. They go from like loud screaming, yelling to all of a sudden, oh, hello, how are you? You know. And the last one, my mother started grilling him. She was wearing him down. She would say things like, "So, Jay, what do you do for a living?" He said, "I'm a musician." And I play guitar. And I have a band. And this went on for like 15 minutes. So finally I found that he once murdered a man. So maybe
it's not such a bad idea.
Yeah.
So are all the women in your family the same? I mean, are they all?
Yeah, more or less. You know, it's interesting when you go see how other women, different ethnic groups behave. Yeah. You know, I was at a bridal shower recently in Connecticut, and they're behaving completely differently. They're opening, first of all, they opened up the gifts before they ate, which, I never heard of it. And they're behaving in that way, that laughter there, isn't that a lovely 10-speed blender? And they all speak like this, and, you know, you're wondering what they think is going to fly by and pop into their mouth. But you go to an event like this in my family, they open up the gifts, they're screaming, they're shouting, they're yelling, they're like, ah! Give her the receipt, you can return it, you know, the animals. My one aunt sits in the back judging every gift that's open. Every gift, she's back there. Is that something she needs? I got it years ago. We didn't have the Cuisinart. We had a hand blender and a mixer, and it was fine. And I don't. Well,
I won't say anything more.
No,
You'll find a use for it.
A princess. Do you think I'm a princess? Really, you do? Really? I'm not a princess. I'm a queen. You want me so badly now. It's like, you're just sitting there watching me and wanting me and knowing you could never have me, aren't you? Yeah. What's your name? Michael, and you're with the hat lady. Susan, you guys married? Yeah, how long? So you know what I was talking about before, right? It's still fabulous? Get out of here. Don't lie to me, Michael. What's the secret? What does Susan do? Like special oils or something? What is it? What's the secret? You never see each other. You see her constantly. So you work together and it's still fabulous. So you're just like nauseatingly merged in one person. It's not intimacy, it's familiarity, it's infantilism. That's what it is. They completely regressed into this infantile state. No. It's like my mother and father. Every time, my mother and father, they secretly despise each other. Every time my father turns his head, my mother does this to me. You strapping young buck, you. Did I have sex with you once? You look so familiar to me all of a sudden. No? Hi, how are you? You guys a couple? Yeah. My boyfriend broke up with me recently. Do you feel bad? Yeah? Don't. He's dead now, okay? And I ran into... Did you ever run into an ex-boyfriend or girlfriend and you look at them and you think to yourself, was I in a deranged psychopathic dementia? Was I in a complete psychotic state when I was having sex with this man every night, twice on Saturdays? I don't know. But, and then I had, you know what? I had the really mortifying, humiliating moment when I looked at him and I thought, I talked baby talk to this man. It was so scary. And then I realized, did this ever happen? Did you ever, like, run into somebody and you forget the whole relationship? What's your name? Steve. Did that ever happen to you? No, I'm the only one. Okay. So I ran into him and I realized I forgot the entire relationship. And I'm standing there thinking, I was with this guy for 4 years. I lived with him. And the only thing that I could remember about the entire 4 years was every night in bed doing this. What are you doing? The only thing that struck me. The little things that just stay with you, you know? So, my ex-boyfriend... See, but I know it's confusing, too, because my ex-boyfriend... you don't know how to behave. You don't know whether to be like the animals that you really are, or sensitive and kind and sweet, which is like an effort. Like, he used to try to be sensitive, but I knew he didn't really mean it, so it didn't really work. I would be in bed with him, and he would say stuff to me like, tell me what you want. I want a milkshake. What do you think I want? I'm in bed with you, And then I knew he didn't really care, and then I couldn't really answer him because I am. So he would say stuff like, tell me what you want. I would just say stuff like, whatever you're doing is fine. And meanwhile, he'd be humping my shin bone like a wire-haired terrier. I'd say, can you get into a marginally erogenous zone? But it wasn't working.